A very good morning to all our Sports Today family members. It's been an action-packed morning when you have to look at the build-up to the New Year's test because we are just a day away from the final test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Now, India cannot win the series in Australia, but they can try and at least save it. They can at least make it 2-2 and ensure that, okay, we at least get the trophy back or at least keep our WTC Final hopes alive. This is the reason now there is turmoil heading into the Sydney test because normally one day prior to the match, you will have the captains addressing the press conference. Pat Cummins came for Australia. But it was Gautam Gambhir for the first time in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Gautam Gambhir attended the press conference. Now, there was a huge amount of questions that was directed at Gautam Gambhir when it was primarily around what was the dressing room conversation all about. Because remember, heading into this, Gautam Gambhir was in the center of the storm because he had said enough is enough. But then Gautam Gambhir, and typically official when you look at it in the Indian cricket team, whenever there is a press conference, Gambhir said the conversation was only on winning. I do not have to respond to dressing room leaks. I do not have to respond to reports. He angrily dismissed that. So Gambhir is insistent that yes, we are not going to respond to any kind of reports. We are here to win. If you had told me that before the Sydney test that we would be going for a draw 2-2, we are in a great position and Indian cricket is in safe hands. Now, people might find that a bit problematic because for one simple reason, India had not lost the BGT for close to 10 years. You had won 2 series in Australia. You had started off brilliantly in Perth. But now you're 2-1, you can't win the series. But if you take a 2-2 draw, is that acceptable? We don't know at this point in time. Plus India's past record in Sydney, we really do not know how to make a big statement out of this. So is Gambhir right in saying that everything is under control? That is very, very debatable at this point in time. However, with Gambhir's arrival for the PC, he confirmed in that Akashdeep is ruled out of the Sydney test because he's got a bad back. So Akashdeep is out, which means either of Harshit, Rana or Prasidh Krishna will play in Sydney. Now, do you give a rest to Siraj or Bumrah, or will you give Prasidh Krishna and all the others a chance? Because you will play 2 spinners in Sydney. So Washington Sundar and Ravindra Jadeja begin. One amongst Akashdeep is gone. So Siraj, Bumrah, Washington Sundar, Ravindra Jadeja. Are you going to persist with Nitish Reddy? Because the team combination, as far as Australia is concerned, it's settled. They have announced they're playing 11. Bo Webster will make his debut and Mitchell Marsh is out. Australia have the clarity. Pat Cummins in the press conference did say that yes, we are really feeling bad for Mitchell Marsh, but I hope he turns his form around. And Bo Webster, the all-rounder from Tasmania, will get a debut. So that's why this is a fantastic addition to the Australian team. Cummins also mentioned the fact that yes, momentum has been with us for 3 test matches now. Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne. We have the momentum. We have to ensure that we sustain it. So he's confident about the playing 11. Australia do not have the distractions that India have at this point in time. So heading into the Sydney test, Australia are 2-1 up. They will be desperate to ensure that they win the BGT because that's the one trophy that they have not won for 10 years. He's also confirmed that Mitchell Starc will play through an injury. And that's why the injury is not that serious for him to be kept out. Typical Australianism, whatever injury is there, important series, important match, they will play. So that is why this is a huge indication. Prior to the practice session, India did meet the Australian PM in Sydney during the New Year's time. And that is why they had gone out, met with the Prime Minister and ensured that, okay, they had a good time heading into the Sydney test match. But there is a concern in the Australian team because in practice today, Steve Smith was hurt on the midriff while batting. There was one particular ball which hit him in the stomach and he was down. He seemed to be okay, but there was one major injury scare. But the focus on the Indian cricket team is this individual, Rohit Sharma. Now, Gambhir came for the press conference. And in the practice session, Rohit Sharma was casually batting. He was not in the slips. So is it an indication that maybe Rohit is going to sit out of the Sydney test? Will Bumrah captain in place of Rohit in Sydney? That is the major thing. Because Gambhir has stated, on the day of the toss, we will decide the playing 11. On the day the match is happening, the playing level will be there for all of you. But the indications from the practice session was that Shubman Gill had a long hit. And Rohit Sharma was casually batting, and he also was not in the slip cordon. Which means, is Rohit going to sit out of the Sydney Cricket Ground test match, the New Year's test match? That will be very, very interesting because he was seen in conversation with Jasprit Bumrah, and Shubman Gill was also batting very, very hard. He was watched by his parents, and that is why, looking at it, the indications are Rohit might not play Sydney. But we never know in Indian cricket until the last moment. The final news in this chaotic morning wrap is that Magnus Carlsen, who was declared the joint winner with Jan Nepomniachtchi, has been accused of match fixing. Now, on that report, he has responded. We will do a special video on that. But so far, as of now, Gambhir PC, Pat Cummins PC, these are the key talking points in that. Gambhir, he doesn't want to address the dressing room reports that's there. Angrily, he's dismissed it. Akashdeep out. Is Rohit not going to play Sydney? That will be a big talking point heading into the Sydney test match. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.